Howdy, Immortallium here. Sorry for the delay, there was some severe technical issues. I think I have it pretty much solved now. So anyway, unfortunately Jordan isn't here, which, you know, is a bit annoying. But what can you do? So I decided that instead of continuing the game that we continued last week, I'll wait for him to continue that, and I'm actually going to do an alternative kind of version of it. Let's just put it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a new game, and I'm just going to see how far I can get, and we'll pick up the normal game next week. So if that annoys you, you can leave now, but whatever. Anyway, here we go. We're almost home. Your room is just the way you left it. Aww. I know it's hard to leave your school and all your friends, but I've arranged the best possible tutors for every subject. You'll have to work hard this year to prepare yourself for before your 15th birthday, but I know you can do it. You'll learn quickly and you'll make a wonderful queen. It's what your mother would have wanted. It is not what mother would have wanted. She wouldn't have wanted to die and leave me. No, she wouldn't, but sometimes bad things happen. We have to pick up and carry on. All of Nova depends on us, on you. Sigh. I will be here to guide you until your coronation. The decisions you make are ultimately up to you. Come, your maids are waiting. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna say we've played this before. Hopefully, you know, I'm looking for some comments, maybe, you know, some assistance, you know, what to do. You know, I haven't been getting too many comments lately on these videos, although I had a very nice one last week complimenting me on my voice, which of course is never a bad thing, so whatever. So, just one moment. Okay. So let's start off. My goal here is to actually go down the social route. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get her out of depressed. Now there's not many things that actually support royal demeanor, and conversation. Well, conversation is actually relatively easy. Royal demeanor is pretty hard to get at. So I'm going to have to change her mood. Let's take a glance. If I can somehow get her angry, that might be the best, but I'll also need to try to get her cheerful. Okay, so the best thing to start off with right now might be expression, actually. To start off with, instrument and voice. You tap out chiming dyads on a glockenspiel, learning the basics of harmony and rhythm. You practice deep breathing exercises to build up your ability to sustain a note. What's all that noise outside? Who's here? Oh, it's my cousins and my aunt and uncle. Darling, we were so terribly sorry to hear about your mother, Fidelia. Thank you. You look well, niece. Hi, Lodi. And just before I continue on any further, I'm just going to say, unless we come across a brand new character, I'm not going to show that this thing. So, whatever. I haven't seen you for ages. Will you be staying long? Yep, Mommy said we'd be here all month. Maybe we'll have some time to talk later. So that actually helps a bit. Now, we need to get her more cheerful. Once you get more cheerful, we might possibly become afraid. Now, I'm trying to recall what afraid does. Let's take a glance. So that'll get her more cheerful. There's no way I said we're going to get cheerful and angry. I can pretty much guarantee you that. So we get more lonely and more yielding. That's not bad, actually. Let's go with that. Okay, so at this point, we're still afraid. So I'm just going to continue on with the expression, because I know I'll need these two attributes for the route I'm going down. You learn to play notes and scales on a simple wooden recorder. You learn the differences in resonance between the chest, the head, and the nose. I've come to pay my respects in honor of your mother. You have no respect or honor. It's because of you and your powers that my wife is dead. What? I am a lumen, as was she, and like every lumen, I am willing to give my life if necessary to protect our domain. Your line has been traitors for 200 years. I won't have you corrupting my daughter. That is for the crown princess to decide. Elodie, your mother entrusted me, and I have much to teach you. Now, I don't really want to become a Lumen in this walkthrough, but I've never actually... Okay, I think arresting her was a very bad thing to do from what I remember. Sending her away, I can't remember what happens with that. But considering a certain event that happens very quickly, I'm going to tell her to let her stay. But at this point, we become more willful, which isn't what I wanted to happen. So we could visit Charlotte to become more cheerful, I think. But what I want to do now is try to build up that loneliness. Hopefully that can... Let me see. Damn it, we're still afraid. Oh! I was looking at the wrong one, sorry. For some reason in my head, you guys were probably screaming at me, you know, Immortallium, you know, it's not cheerfulness you want to be moving, it's anger. I actually said it earlier as well, I remember some. I'm going to keep going down the expression route. So, decoration. If I do this, I'll get the costume. You discuss the nature of beauty, looking around at landscapes, objects, and people, and comparing their aesthetic elements. You practice sketching fruits and flowers with charcoal and parchment, and unlocked a new outfit. And this is the event that happens where the reason that I wanted young one, what's her name, Juliana, to stay around, because I'm not sure what happens actually if Juliana isn't around, and for her to cut off the snake's head. So I'll just skip all this actually. Come to think about it, I'll just skip the stuff that we've already done before. This is an alternative play. If you haven't watched this, if you haven't watched the previous stuff, go watch it. Watch that first, and then look at this one, because this is an alternative version of this playthrough. Anyway, let's see. So that didn't help now. I've become more afraid. Yeah, no matter what I do, I'm still going to be afraid. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm not sure what I can do. Let's just keep going with the playing with toga. Let's equip the costume, being the toga. Pretty little Greek outfit. And let's take a glance. Oh, actually I just spotted there's a new viewer. Let me just inform you. This is an alternative playthrough. Jordan isn't here, so I decided to kind of redo this. I'm doing like one complete kind of playthrough myself to see if I can win. So whatever. Anyway, let's continue on. So let's see what I need to work on now. Haven't worked on expression. Oh, I can work on conversation now. Thank God. Okay. So I want to work on that. Let's see. Court manners and flattery. That's what I'll work on for now. You viewed correct greetings for guests according to rank and went to extend your hand to another. All nobles expected due honors. You learned that it's important to make eye contact when saying nice things about someone. The castle seems quieter with Charlotte and Emery and Zara and their parents gone. It's certainly not empty though. It seems like we get more servants every day. I was so worried about Charlotte after the snake bit her. And of course the poison, we failed at, so whatever. I'm really not doing well at this now. Oh, actually we'll become lonely if I do one more playing with toys. I'm not sure what stat boosts that do. Awesome, a bonus to conversation. Now that's, what was it, cooking with oil, I think that's the term. So that's exactly what I wanted. So, let's see. Yeah, court manners and flattery. Let's go with that. As the person of highest rank within the domain, no one may sit at any formal event unless you give them permission, and no one must ever turn their back on you. If they do, you are intended to recognize the insult. You learn that flattering comments have the best impact when kept short. Gushing makes people feel awkward. When a maid's approaches for your attention, my lady courier... Okay, so at this point, we should probably pass this one now. Due to the fact that we've been working on our, what's it called? Hey, actually, just checked out Arctic Bananas here. Hey, Arctic. I'm sure you've already heard me talk about the fact that This is kind of an alternate play. Jordan isn't here, so you know, I'm just going to do a playthrough myself, and well, I'll continue on Jordan's playthrough next week. So anyway, back to this. So we should pass this one with court manners. They have brought you a letter and a gift. Condolences and debt of deep regret, best wishes. Oh, what a beautiful necklace. Yes, we passed with court manners. So now, what I'm going to do is don't wear it. It's important to maintain the proper image, which means we're not going to be put in that awkward situation now where we have to, you know, we have to confront that man, that awkward man. The age gap in this game. Yeah, so I'm fine with lonely now. We'll need to get more. Actually, yeah, that's pretty much fine. So I'm just going to stick with lonely for the moment, and then we'll become yielding in order to increase or oh, I can't even remember. I'll just stick with play with toys. Or royal demeanor. Oh wait. Oh, we're yielding now. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's work on public speaking. You practice tongue-twisting sequences of syllables to improve your enunciation. You take deep breaths and practice speaking loudly and clearly, projecting your voice to every corner of a room. And we've unlocked a new outfit again. Those outfits are very useful. Let's see. Your Royal Highness, I would speak with you. And yeah, this is... we haven't actually come across this character in the other playthroughs because she shows up if you don't speak to Juliana. Now, I don't intend to become a Lumen in this playthrough of the game. So I'm not going to be speaking with Juliana, but she's basically just going to try to convince us to go talk to Juliana. So I'll just show her stuff. She's age 30. She's a priestess of the Second Circle. She's single. If you've seen the other playthroughs, you'll know why she's single. A priestess attached to the palace of the Secret Grove, takes part in religious services and identities, tutoring in faith. So yeah, this is our faith teacher. Your Royal Highness, I would speak with you. What is it? You have many questions, and the answers are within your grasp. You need to only choose to seek them. Speak to the Duchess of Ursel. She will guide you on your path. Yeah, so I'm going to ignore that advice. Sorry, Ursel, or Juliana, and one, I can't remember her name now. Sorry. Let's see. So yeah, we want to keep going with the yielding. We're getting a bit too cheerful, though, at the moment. Okay, let's just play with the toys again. You don't want to say that too often, many days. Getting too cheerful. So I'm going to switch to the tea dress, which actually does. I actually prefer this tea dress to the toga. I'd like to hear what you guys think, the toga or the tea dress, in your just from a visual perspective. We won't need the expression for a little while. So now that I've done that, I'm actually going to work up royal demeanor. So while I have the yielding bonus, so composure and presence is the most important right now. You practice deep breathing exercises, learning to find and maintain a sense of inner calm. You practice wearing the royal regalia and looking at yourself in a mirror. Young as you are, and you are a queen of the blood. You are your mother's daughter. You are a force to be reckoned with. As you walk up the stairs, okay, I'm not sure if we will be able to dodge. No, okay. Last time we were able to dodge just because of our reflexes, but we haven't been working on reflexes. I didn't get up enough elegance, so yeah, she barrels into me. Oh, my lady, I'm so sorry. I'm sure we've shown, yeah, we've shown her. Okay. But I've succeeded with my court manners. These things happen. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to accept her apology. No real harm done. Please be more careful in the future. Yes, my lady, thank you. Except that's made me more cheerful, and I don't want to be more cheerful. The problem now is I'm going to become cheerful if I go anymore, so I need to get a bit more depressed. Depressed. I'm going to become more afraid. That'll do for one turn. You pay your respects to your mother's tomb and wonder if the same fate is waiting you. Okay, we're still yielding. Okay, so let's work on... I'm going to do composure and presence one more time. I'm sorry if I'm going really fast. It just I want to get kind of a playthrough done in 2 hours in this one. You practice positive thinking, maintaining a good self-image and conditioning yourself to carry on rather than be frustrated by any past misstep. You practice sitting calmly while your teacher circles around you and makes unexpected loud noises at random intervals. Ugh, that's actually I find that thought very funny. Just teacher going, you know, you stare at yourself in the mirror and practice focusing and transmitting energy with only your eyes, turning the intensity of your gaze on and off at will. You Practice using different styles of breathing in order to feel more energetic and to let that energy surround you for others to share. There's a man here. Yeah, we're going to fail this. What we need with this, he's going to recommend to printing books, but because of the fact we haven't been working on our production or trade, we're going to fail this. So she's going to decline, despite the fact it's a completely awesome idea, and it's only 875 lassie. In all the other playthroughs, I haven't actually shown how much money we have, but I've seen the money. We have a lot more than 875 lassie. 875 lassie is like a drop in the ocean. So, foolish move. Okay, if I want to stay yielding, I'm going to have to become more angry, or I'm going to have to become less afraid, which actually attending service will do. Okay, and I'm going to work on elegance now, and that will get us past the... I'll just explain one more time, just in case any of you aren't aware of this. In order to progress past 50 in one of your moves, you need to exceed 25 on all... Like, for example, I want to go over 50 for Royal Demeanor of any of the skills there. I'm going to have to get over 25 for each of them. So that's kind of why right now I'm really focusing on getting over 25 for all of them. That, and it's the route that I want to go down. Anyway, back to this. So, elegance, I intend to do. You practice walking along a narrow rail, taking each step carefully and focusing on your balance. You practice standing and walking with books balanced on your head. You practice the elegant way to hold and sip from a teacup, your pinky slightly extended for balance. And for any of you anime fans out there, remember that... I'm not sure if you guys have seen Ouran High School Host Club, but I learned that from Ouran High School Host Club. Extend the pinky finger so it doesn't make any noise when you drop the teacup. You have unlocked a new outfit. Your Highness, my sympathies for your loss. Even after all the... Yeah, this is the guy we killed in our last playthrough. Even after all these years, I sometimes forget my own mother will never come back. Thank you. However, I must call for your aid. The exilic occupation of the county of Imbrium has gone on for too long. It's time to push back. Now, we failed our foreign affairs, and we failed our military. There must be a peaceful way to settle this. I will send for diplomats from Ixion and try to come to some arrangement. Thank you. If I might say so, you're looking particularly lovely this day. I hope you will think fondly of me. I believe he's 31, so yes, he's almost as old as my father. It's... Oh, the amount of old guys hitting on young girls in this game, it's quite creepy. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to do? Now that I've exceeded that, I'm going to try to become more cheerful and see what that does. So, let's play with the toys. Okay, at this point we are still quite yielding, so I'm going to take advantage of this for the moment and just increase our royal demeanor. Composure and presence. Oh, I forgot to show off the dress. Okay, never mind. I'll do that next turn. Well, next week, I guess. At your command, your teacher strikes your palm with a leather tass, and you learn to bear the sting. You lie on a couch and try to remain relaxed while your teacher smacks your heels with a leather God, this is getting brutal now. You plant your feet in a strong stance, imagining that you're a tree, deeply rooted in the earth. You can feel that power within you, and know that you will not be pushed aside. You practice focusing your attention on individuals as you pass, letting them feel a brief connection with you before you formally acknowledge them with a nod. Actually, I should probably build up dancing, actually, come to think of it. I don't know. Yep. And we passed this one last time, which, if you've seen the previous playthroughs, allowed us to punish her, but because of the fact we're unaware of who she is, we can't actually offer that option now. So I'm hoping that our... my skills in presence and all that will benefit us. We should try bluffing or intimidating. You're trespassing on our lands. You will withdraw your troops at once. Only then will we have peace. Threaten to attack. My soldiers are poised to destroy you. Withdraw now. We failed our presence. Damn it. I was hoping our presence was high enough. Because... never mind. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep going with the cheerful. I'm also going to check the comments. Tea dress for the way. Yeah, it was a pretty common thing back in the days. If you have read Game of Thrones, Daenerys is like 13 in the books. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, so I should have actually worn that dress. This one's the coronet. Which is very, actually, queenish. And that might have actually benefited us. I'm not sure if that would have allowed us to pass, but it would have given us more chance of passing that. So that was a foolish mistake. And now at this point, I'm going to save just in case I make a foolish mistake. Now, unfortunately, there's only 8 save slots, and oh wait. Oh, ha ha ha! Okay, succeed here. So I'm just going to call this alternate 1. I've never actually saved so much in Long Live the Queen before, so I have to get used to that. Okay, so I'm actually thinking maybe we should learn to dance just because of that upcoming ball. Let's see. We shouldn't need too much abilities in dancing. You practice curtsing, standing, and walking across the floor in a graceful manner. You practice walking on the arm of a partner and following their cues to pause and turn while you're keeping your eyes closed. You receive a report on the outcome of the battle against the Ixonites. You succeed in driving out of Murray, but it cost you almost a full battalion of soldiers and a great deal of material. You lost, over 1,000 soldiers, which is actually quite a bloody conflict. If you look up real-world conflict, it's, unless it's like a major battle, or major war, you never get actually 1,000 people dying. So, which is something that surprised me because I always imaged, like the World War I and World War II casualty rates to be normal. Anyway, the Duke of Murray will be happy, but we could have done better. Yes, we could have. I should have worn that dress, that coronet. Yeah, so one more will put us to cheerful, and we'll see what that benefits. Conversation and athletics. So we may as well build up the conversation, for the moment. So let's work on court manners and flattery. You study rules for formal dining, including the proper utensils for different dishes. As the Queen, no one will comment on your mistakes, but they will notice them. You study the traditions of ballroom etiquette, how to politely accept or defer an offer, and how to avoid the impression of attachment to an individual. You learn that it is always better to compliment people for their personality and their choices than their physical attributes. You hear that, people? Follow that advice. Visual elements are best to flatter on first meeting. They are expected to be noticed right away. If you spend more time with someone, suddenly compliment their attire will ring false. Yeah, I know that. Anyway, there was a woman here to see. Yeah, we're going to fail this one again because, we don't have enough herbs and battlefield medicine. This one's kind of understandable of why she would think that. I mean, I know, of course, now that we know about hospitals and everything, we know that that's a foolish thing that she just did, but I can understand why she would think that that would happen. Anyway, we're going to stick with cheerful just because it's actually benefiting me. So let's keep going with court manners and flattery. You memorize the correct title for every servant in the castle. Treating servants with respect ensures good service. To directly challenge someone's honor is to declare war. Never make a public accusation of cowardice, treason, infidelity, or murder unless you are prepared to face mortal enemies. On that note, you studied etiquette of dueling, which is actually interesting because we challenged someone to a duel last game, but we didn't study the etiquette of dueling. So interesting. But we didn't need to look up court manners for that, so I don't know. As a monarch, you are expected to embody the virtues of honesty, bravery, and generosity. You should always offer aid to those in need. However, those you aid personally are expected to give you their utmost loyalty, even unto death. Small personal details help make the recipient of your flattery feel that you have truly noticed them, which is always better than a simple "how nice you look." Most people want to believe that they are successful and well-liked more than they want to believe that they are handsome. Play to these beliefs, and they will be inclined to enjoy your company, even if they should know better. A certain class of dramatic personality believes utterly that they are ugly and unpopular, even if this is untrue. Flattering their appearance will make them pull away and mistrust you. Instead, compliment their intelligence. This tends to be their weakness. Oh, we're getting into the more shady areas of flattery. So we're going to fail this one again. This guy, actually, Jordan and I are going to have to deal with next week because he wants to kill us for killing his mom because she declared war against us. But that's besides the point. Right now, he's, talking about this one here. And we're going to fail everything, I believe. Let me just check. It's just this, it is. Them devils killed my brother and broke my mam's heart. Lied to her, they did. And when she went to see why they'd not come back, said he'd gone for a soldier when he never would. He weren't the only one, neither. I waited 10 years for my chance to get my own back. That's justice. Yeah, and I don't think, yeah, so we can put her to work, but that will lead to issues with Kevin. And I want to kind of stay on his good side, so I'm actually going to say execute her. Execute her and imprison her is just going to bring up the same kind of result. And we're going to fail the archery, which, yeah, and I think if you hit the archery, maybe it knocks her out, and she can go off to be executed or go off to be imprisoned. I don't know, but I'm not dealing with weaponry right now. So anyway, I'm just checking the comments again. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with. I'm sorry if it's kind of repetitive with that bit, but as you know, I'm just kind of trying to go through this as fast as possible. So let's see. If we bring up public speaking, we might be able to finish them all off in one kind of go next. I'll just show this off. Not only do you get bonuses from mood, but as you learn stuff, like for example, we have no bonuses in expression from mood perspective, but because we've learned all that we have in expression, we're going to get a bonus even if we train in that with no with no bonuses from mood. So including our current mood and our bonuses, we're getting an enormous boost. My hope is that if we bring up public speaking, that it'll be enough to actually bring up the court manners and flattery completely next turn. So let's just try that. So yeah, public speaking. You memorize lists and sonnets, then recite them for your teacher and any castle staff she can round up to serve as an audience. Your teacher asks you questions about made-up nonsense, pushing you to improvise answers smoothly and swiftly without having to worry about them being correct. You read collections of famous historical speeches and practice saying them in convincingly dramatic fashion. You borrow the menu for an upcoming banquet and practice delivering it as a dramatic speech to an audience of confused chambermaids. Anyway. You learn about debate techniques and practice them by trying to convince a castle gardener why a new fountain would be a good idea. Now, as you're walking one day in the gardens, you hear a strange sound and look up to see an owl flying overhead. We're going to fail this. Divination and falcons. I'm not sure what falcons even does. I know with divination it allows us to predict someone's death. I won't say who, just spoiler's sake, but it does. Anyway, that's funny. I thought owls were nocturnal. I guess I was wrong. When you return to the castle, your father's waiting for you. There are reports that a Keithong has been sighted leaving the Old Forest. What's a Keithong? Sorry. I think that might have just shown up in the capture. Yeah, I have a friend called Sugary Cupcake Princess. Deal with it. Anyway, what's a Keithong? A beast with the body of an enormous golden cat, a sharp beak, and spikes on its back. Eek! Several disappearances in southern Calaris are already thought to be the work of this creature. What should we do? Should we send hunters? The traditional policy on stray beasts is to hope that they return to the forest and stay there. Hunters are no match for such creatures. You would only make it angry and waste more lives. So we just let it eat people, everyone dies in the end. We get more depressed. But we're going to have to offset that with our playing with toys. Okay, let's take a glance. I believe the upcoming ball, I think the ball is upcoming, so we'll need to work on our dancing. So, yes, that accent. Anyway, dancing. So, I believe if I bring up a dance, what is it? Where's dance now? Athletics? No, not athletics, agility. Let's just put both into dance, and that should probably be enough for the dancing at the ball. You practice different partnered dance positions, closely held at a distance and non-contact, and the appropriate hand placement for each. You begin practicing dance steps in time to music, quick and slow, turning and weaving. Yeah, that should do us for the dance, hopefully. It'll get us a partial success, hopefully. Remember that the festival of the good lady is approaching. There will be public celebrations for the commoners, followed by a grand gala for the nobility. As queen, you will be expected to lead the procession and take part in the ceremony of planting, possibly give a speech. However, since you are not yet crowned, it is not required and may not be safe to expose you to the public. What do you mean not safe? Outside of the castle, you are less well protected. If anyone means you harm, take on it now. Decide later. There's a letter for you as well. It's from Briony. I went to school with her, but she's a couple years older than me. Her mother is the Duchess of Mead. She's complaining that her mother still won't let her come home for the holidays. Apparently her uncle Kevin has been acting strangely lately and shouting shadows. She's bored looking for an adventure. Well, I don't have any to suggest for her. And I'm just trying to recall about the dancing now. Nah, we don't need to work on dancing. Let's just stay with the cheerful. I should be happy with the dancing. Now, from what I remember, I think expression is more important for this, so I'm gonna put on the toga just to benefit us. And decoration definitely is one. Public speaking is enormous right now, so that should be fine. So I'm gonna build up where is it now? Decoration, and while I'm at it, yeah, let's actually max out our public speaking just to be on the safe side. There we go. You study the theory of colour, how they complement and contrast, and how to select colours to emphasise a mood. You learn to mix paints and apply them to canvas, capturing the light and colour of the castle gardens. Your teacher assigns you to create and memorise a short speech of your own. Your teacher assigns you to read about a subject, memorise a few good phrases for the beginning and ending of a speech, and then make up the rest on the spot. Your teacher assigns you to read about a subject, then requires you to answer questions about it on the spot in front of an audience. And you have nothing more to learn about public speaking. Okay, so let's see how we do with this now. Do people recover from this? Yeah, I will parade and make a speech. Cheerful, willful, pressured. I'm not afraid. I'm going to be the best parade leader ever. My little girl. Anyway, you prepare your best gown for the occasion, or best toga, actually. Then walk slowly through the town with your attendants. It would not be appropriate for you to wear a sword, but you do walk with a sturdy golden scepter that's holding you are. We partially succeed with decoration, failed elegance. You hear the occasional little girl squeal pretty as you pass by and can't hide your smile. At the end of the route, you help the priestesses turn over the earth for the new tree to be planted. After the blessings are read, you hold up your hands and call for sound so that you can speak. And we succeed in our public speaking, thank God, because that's 100. Anyway, my affectionate greetings to you all, and my thanks. For it is the people that make this domain great. We are here today to celebrate the gifts of the good lady, the promise of fertility and new birth. Winter always comes, but winter is followed by spring. Each of us faces hardships, but we grow back stronger than ever. And now is the time for new beginnings, and for my beginning as your queen. Your words are met with great applause. Anyway, the procession regroups to return to the castle. So, a lot more successful than last time. So that should do. We're going to stick with the... If we can become more depressed and yielding, that might be better. Yeah, let's try that. Now we're going to work on our royal demeanour. Our elegance and our presence is what needs to be built up. But actually, I haven't saved for a little while now, so I'll just do that for safety's sake. Any of you who's been watching my previous playthroughs know why. I'm not expecting people to hate me with this. I'm trying to be kind of, you know, very social, as you can see, but you never know. Anyway, let's see. We want presence and what's the last one? Composure was the other one. There we go. I just noticed a little thing came up in the comments. Let's read it. Oh no, okay, I think we just talked about that accent. Anyway, you practice being aware of your environment, seeing everything as it transpires around you, and feeling that you're in control of it all. You practice giving commands to the castle staff, neither asking nor demanding, but telling them what needs to be done, and as long as you believe it to be true, they will as well. You're strapped into tight, heavy armor and made to walk around in it, learning that any attempt at a sudden movement will catch painfully or trip you up. Slow and steady is the way to go. God, this next one sounds so weird. Your teacher smears your body and clothes with strawberry jam and makes you walk around like that for hours, facing the funny looks and snickers aimed at you without hiding or becoming angry. Are you ready for the grand ball? Hopefully no one will die at this ball this time. Anyway, all the nobles in the domain are here to see you, to see their queen. Gulp. You finish dressing and descend the stairs to make a grand entrance. All around the rich and powerful pause in their activities to gaze upon you, the ruler of them all. And we succeed in our presence. You let your eyes rest upon each in turn as you have been taught, impressing upon them that you are not a child but a queen. Your father waits for you at the bottom of the stairs and offers you his arm. The first dance is for us. He guides you gently around the dance floor, never rushing you. It's fun to dance with your father, but the look in his eyes is so sad. After this, you must choose your own partner. There are a number of men who hope to catch your eye. The Duke of Kaigal alone had brought 3 eligible sons, all near your age. You look around the room at all your possible partners, which is to say, everyone. No one may begin dancing until you do. You can pick whomever you want, and you will not be denied. We failed our intrigue. Our court manners should be, pretty damn high, but because we have been working on our intrigue, we're not able to identify who these people are. But our dancing should hopefully be able to support us. So I'm going to pick someone about my age. You approach Linley, the second son of the Duke of Kaigal. He's about 2 years older than you, and he was always nice to you at school. He bows to you with great courtesy, and you begin to dance. Dancing with a real partner feels quite different from dancing with your father. You knew him, knew his steps like a part of you. Every move is a mystery. We failed? Again? Anyway, okay. Unfortunately, you lose track of which steps you're supposed to do when and trip over your feet. Oops. Between the dances, there is time for the guests to mingle, chat, and sample tiny bites of exquisite food. You succeed in our court manners and flattery. You interact comfortably with your peers, leaving a wise word in every ear. So we've succeeded in our presence, we've succeeded in our court manners and our flattery, but we failed our dance and we fell on our face. Anyway, during a lull in the music, Banyan, the Duke of Murray, taps an elegant fingernail against the wine glass, letting the clear note ring out through the room. Now, this is what caused us to go on to a killing frenzy last time, so hopefully we'll be able to deal with this. If I might have your attention, I believe we should offer our compliments to our lovely hostess. Her bravery and courage keeps our border defended. Everyone, oh wait, okay. I think that might have been because we actually lost all the titles for his sister, so I think he was angry last time. Okay, so he's fine. Okay, cool. As the gala continues, take the opportunity to observe nobles that you rarely see. There's Gwenelle, for instance, the young lady of Sudbury, only months older than you, and due to finally inherit control of her duchy soon, which we actually met in our last playthrough. Or Idelle, the youngest daughter of the Duchess of Lila, and a fierce sportswoman. She was a few years ahead of you at school and the absolute terror of the ball fields. No Brioni. She had said her parents were leaving her stuck at school this season. Her parents are here, dancing together, the Duke Consort clutching his Duchess possessively tight. Strange that there's no sign of your cousins, though. Shouldn't they be here? Your aunt and uncle are here, of course. It would be scandalous if they hadn't come, Merva being so close by. Yeah, we failed sense magic. I won't spoil that either, but just to say, if we learn how to sense magic here, an interesting development occurs. I mean, it's nice to be able to enjoy time with friends and family, isn't it? Okay, so that ball went significantly better than last time. Let's see. Yep, let's keep going with the willful. No, not willful, yielding. Sorry. So, let's take a look. We can max out our composure and presence, but I'd say probably let's build on elegance so that we might... let's work on elegance, and we can work on expression. Instrument and voice, we'll need that later anyway. So elegance, and let's go with voice. You're strapped into a corset and hoop skirt and practice walking with these. The corset makes it hard to breathe and twist, and the skirt sways out of control if you move too rapidly. You practice graceful arm gestures for every motion, from offering your hand for a kiss to taking hold of a banister at the stairs. You practice eating slowly and with a minimum of mess, chewing each bite a set number of times before swallowing. You learn about different vocal ranges, from the most profound bass to the rare coloratura soprano. You learn the sol-fa system, a way of expressing a tune where each note is represented by a different syllable. You wander downstairs to visit your father and talk about the latest events in the domain. You're moving with such enthusiasm that you don't realize your father isn't alone until it's too late to avoid him and his companion. You are too kind, Jocelyn. Countess Searing, not a member of your circles. She's a bit more than a decade your senior, far too old to have ever been your friend, and yet not old at all, as noble women go. She has 2 minor titles, no husband and your father's arm in her grasp. Composure. You take a deep breath. Greet her politely. Imagine a smile at her in what you hope is a welcoming manner. And we succeed in our court manners. See, it pays to be social. Good day to you, Countess. Your Highness, good day to you as well. I was just speaking with your father about, well, it wasn't important. Please allow me to excuse myself. I don't wish to be in the way. She bows her head to you and exits. Once she's gone, you raise an eyebrow at your father. Take note of this. He actually says something differently than the last playthrough. clearly giving off that he was getting doubts on you last playthrough. But here he's pretty confident with you, so he's quite satisfied. He simply says, "Don't give me that look, young lady. She's a nice woman, nothing more. She wants something more, and it's not going to happen anytime soon." Yeah, compare that to when he was saying it was necessary to marry her, basically. You should be careful how you deal with people like Cyrene. You need the goodwill of your nobles as well as your commoners. There haven't been any problems so far. As queen, you must be aware of everything around you. And we fail our intrigue. I am paying attention to what's around me. Okay. So we might want to work on more cheerful. Okay, so at this point, let's maximize our royal demeanor. So let's go for elegance and composure. There we go. You practice walking over smoldering coals with bare feet. So long as you keep moving steadily and do not panic and freeze or run, you are not burned. I think, yeah, that's what the Buddhist monks do. Your teacher gathers up some of the castle staff to shout insults at you while you practice staying calm and not bursting into laughter. Your teacher instructs you in a game of cards, teaching you to bluff with a straight face. Maybe that's what we needed for the bluffing, for that emissary from that southern one. Oh, okay, bye Arctic. It was nice having you here. Yeah, I enjoyed your comments. Anyway, you have nothing more to learn about composure. You learn. Oh, we failed to finish up elegance. Well, that's fine. You practice standing up, sitting down, and picking up items from the floor. Bend at the knees, not at the waist. You practice speaking and laughing quietly, not trying to disappear or go unheard, but focusing your energy into a smaller space so that it draws people closer. You practice sitting quietly and listening to the conversations of others without becoming bored or restless. It is the time of the... Yeah, we're going to fail this because I haven't been working on accounting. So I'm going to keep them the same. As you wish. Okay, so we're not going to need to be yielding. We might want to be yielding for one more turn. So we're going to go -1 cheerful. But let's try to maximize our royal demeanor. We can maximize the presence, definitely. I won't bother with the elegance. It's as good as done at that point. And I'm going to work on my... How about my instrument? Yeah, I haven't worked on that for a while. So what I said presence. Yeah. Okay, so presence and my instruments. Where are... There we go. You practice watching people and willing them to feel your gaze on them. Inevitably, they will be drawn to you. You imagine things that you want to happen in the near future and then convince yourself and others that those things will happen. You organize a group of castle staff and coach them through carrying out a complicated multi-stage task. You have nothing more to learn about presence. You practice with the recorder, learning to recognize tunes that you hear and replicate them. You practice major and minor scales at the keyboard of a pianoforte. You are requested to stand in judgment. A man has been convicted of the murder by strangling of his wife. He does not deny the act, but requests a pardon that he might be set free. If you admit you killed your wife, why do you think I'm going to set you free? Save me, your majesty. Wasn't... Oh, sorry, it's a dude, sorry. Save me, your majesty. Wasn't my fault. Demons made me do it. Everyone knows the power of magical beasties. They used me. They twisted my fingers into chains. My wife found me screaming. She tried to shake me, and the chains wrapped around her. I needed priestesses to bless me and make me clean again. Demons that make you attack people? Is that even possible? I'm just going to execute him. I don't want the jail blowing up like last time. You will be hanged in public as a deterrent to future criminals. He opens his mouth to argue with you further, but then his shoulders slump. Yes, your majesty. Okay, at this point, we are going to want to become less yielding, more willful. If we do that, we can become lonely. So let's go for sneak out. So now we're lonely. Let's see what benefits. Conversation, excellent. That should probably bring us up what we need to maximize our conversation. I'm not entirely sure. The other benefit is medicine, which we don't need. Let's see. Conversation. Court manners and flattery. Just double checking. Yep, and at this point I'm actually going to save again. Oh, sorry. That's a completely different thing. There we go. And let's do the classes. You study the forms of written address, how to issue and decline invitations, how to announce an impending visit, and how to correspond with the rulers of foreign domains. You study the language of flowers and the secret meanings that can be communicated through the gift of a bouquet. You study the rules of behavior in foreign courts so that you may seem at home in any setting. You have nothing more to learn about court manners. Most people want to believe that they are special and will react well to hints that they are receiving slightly better treatment than others. However, too obvious favoritism will stir resentment, and only the vain enjoy it. The most reliable form of flattery is to convey that you honestly like the target. Well, yeah, that's kind of logical. Anyway, enjoy spending time with them and wish them to think well of you. Imitation is a form of flattery. Mirroring someone's gestures and reactions can lead to them to subconsciously trust you and feel that you have a bond. Be careful not to make this seem like a mimicry, which is insulting. You have nothing more to learn about flattery. You receive word of an... Yeah, this is where he lashes out with explosive magical powers, kills the guards and spectators, and escapes. Okay, that might not have been the most best thing to do, but the public love me, so whatever. So, yeah, I've maximized my conversation skills now, so what do I want to build up now? We've become more cheerful. What's the benefit of cheerful again? Let's try building up willful and see what that benefits. Okay, at this point we are still lonely. So, what should I do? What should I do? Well, at this point I should probably start working on the... what I'm going to need later is some foreign affairs and foreign intelligence. Now is not the time to work on intrigue, but foreign affairs I can work on. Although actually it might be a better idea to finish off instrument and voice and then work on it. So, you know what? Let's just work on instrument and voice, and then we can work on the history and foreign affairs. You study musical notation and begin to play familiar songs by sight on the pianoforte. You practice complex runs, trills, and transposition on the pianoforte. You practice standing in the correct posture and singing scales to improve your pitch and tone. You work through exercise and dynamics, going from soft to loud and back again, and agility, singing rapid sequences of notes. I regret to inform you that Fabian, the Earl of Titan and Duke Regent of Alath, has passed away. This isn't really a surprise. He was pretty old. The problem is the political implications. With the control of Alath in doubt, it falls to the Crown to make decisions. Young Lord Adair will not reach his 15th birthday for over 2 years. He requires a regent. His stepmother, Aris, the Duchess of Lila, who, interestingly, was the one who declared war against us last time, has petitioned that the boy be left in her care. This would, however, leave her in personal control of 2 neighbouring duchies, which is generally forbidden. Almost the entire eastern border. I don't know anything really bad about her, though. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar, or you might appoint an unrelated noble to act instead. The Earl of Ishtar has suggested another possibility. You and Adair are both young, not too far apart in age. You request that we accept the boy as your future husband and keep him here at the castle. Now, we only get this option when we are not having to... how can I describe this? That court manners thing that we succeeded earlier allows us to take this option now because we're not engaged to anyone. So we can try that. We can marry him. I know some other things. Like, I mean, it's not the best idea to leave him with Aris, particularly considering what she did last time. But it's actually not that good an idea to send him to his grandfather for reasons that are explained otherwise. It might not be a good idea to send him to my uncle because that's how can I put it? Kind of insulting. So yeah, let's marry him. Okay, I'll marry him. At least that way I won't get stuck with an old man. And it's one way to keep away the pedophiles as well. You can't actually marry him until he's old enough, but he will be brought here to live as your companion. Okay, so let's see, what do we want to be? We want to be cheerful. Actually, we're kind of working on willful right now, actually, so yeah, let's keep going with that. We're still going to be lonely, but that's fine. So at this point, yeah, if I keep on this toga, I might be able to max out the instrument and voice. I don't know. Let's try it. You practice the transverse flute. Oh, just 2 points off. You practice the transverse flute, learning how to form a beautiful tone by blowing across the mouthpiece. You practice the hot voice, learning to apply pressure with your lips to control the vibrations of the double reed. You sing familiar songs in a chorale, focusing on pronunciation and staggered breathing. You and your teacher practice singing in harmony, feeling the way that notes interact and pulse when not quite in line. There's a woman here to see you. She is a musician and wishes crown patronage, which means money. Your Royal Highness, if you accept me as a member of your court, I will immortalize you in word and song. I have dabbled in musical styles from many countries and can entertain your guests and lighten your evenings. So yeah, we fail our foreign intelligence and our intrigue. The musician sings a little ditty to demonstrate her skills with the lute. It's okay, but nothing special. Last time she taught, she was pretty good. So that's a change in instrument and voice. So based on that, we're actually going to reject her. Thank you, but we are not interested. I know another option happens with the intrigue, but for the moment all we know is that she's not that good, so we're just going to work on our willful again. We're still lonely. Okay, so for the sake of 2 and 4 points, I can try boosting up the instrument and voice. It's really important later, so I'm kind of tempted to go build them up anyway. But we'll probably switch from the toga to something else based on that. You practice the harp, learning to play flowing glissandos and arpeggios. You practice sight reading complex pieces of music. You have nothing more to learn about instrument. You practice singing canons, learning to maintain focus and timing on your own vocal part even when others around you are singing something quite different. Practice singing solos, learning to express the emotion of a piece and control the vibrations of your voice. You have nothing more to learn about voice. How is Adair setting into life at the castle? I found him in the garden trying to catch frogs. Yeah, we fail animal handling, which is one. I think this is the only one in the whole game that actually deals with animal handling. I mean, I know there's some dogs and some falcons and horses, but overall animal handling is actually quite useless. I think he's still afraid of me. I'm sure you'll work things out. Okay, so yeah, we'll be willful finally, this one now. So let's see what that benefits. Bonus to intrigue, military, and lumen. And okay, so it's bad for the history, which is not good, but its benefits or intrigue, which we want to build up our foreign intelligence. Okay, so let's see, yeah, let's build up the foreign intelligence. We'll have to probably build up internal affairs at the same time. There we go. Until you have children of your own, your maternal uncle, the Duke of Merva, is next in line for their crown, and after him would be his daughter, your cousin Charlotte. The current Duke of Sedna is 26 years old and unmarried. He might be considered a good marriage prospect for you if you desire stronger ties with the domain of Talais. Just one moment, I'm just checking up the comments. Yeah, for some reason, there's a bit of a delay on when I'm informed there's a comment and when there's actually a comment. Took about 10 minutes for that last comment to come true. Anyway, stare up in the sky out your window, you notice a strange flash of light, and we fail our divination. A falling star, pretty. Okay, so we're going to stick with the willful for now, just because we're going to try to build up our intrigue, but we're going to have to get out of willful afterwards because we need to build up our history. So let's continue with our intelligence, foreign intelligence and internal affairs, and we can work on ciphering next turn. Your maternal uncle's wife, the Countess Nix, claims kinship to the old Merva line and originally asked your mother for title to the duchy. However, no one could verify her lineage. As a compromise, your mother created her brother, Duke of Merva. Yeah, that sounds really weird. It makes it sound like as if the mother actually created the brother, which I think my friend Duality Kuhn pointed out in the first Let's Play. Anyway, the last Duke of Mead was the older half-brother of the current Duchess. His reign was brief and highly scandalous. He defied tradition to pledge himself as the life mate of the old Duke of Ursel, then broke that off only a year later. He retired in seclusion and died still unwed. Kind of sad. The domain of Shanjia, across the sea to the west, has been steadily increasing in size and now controls a wide range of coastline, as well as most of the navigable rivers. The political disruption in Tombala in recent years has caused a disruption in their chocolate production, which is to the benefit of Nova, particularly the Duchy of Kaigal. I have an unpleasant news to report. Talaris, the Duke of Sedna, has instituted high tariffs and trade restrictions at the Aleph border. Business is disrupted and there are growing shortages of supplies. So yeah, we can send emergency aid, which will cost us a pretty penny. Then the Royal Treasury will pay to keep the people fed. Very well. But that's fine, because I kept the taxes the same, whereas I lowered them in the last game. So yeah, keep with the willful. There's probably a mood that it's far better for intrigue, but I don't really care at this point. There we go. You practice reading words whose letters have been arranged in reverse order, simple as the transpositions, which anyone literate can puzzle through if they try, but sometimes useful to hide information. Fig is Nia Ipne. Those in the comments, could you please try to figure that out? We came across that before. I don't think anyone's pointed it out yet. So just, see if you can figure that out. You practice shifting substitution ciphers where each letter is replaced by only a few steps along in the alphabet, so that cake and pie becomes fidu dig strudel. You practice random substitution ciphers where this normal alphabet is replaced by one in jumbled order. This is harder to decode, but most people need a written substitution chart to read or write it, and that chart can be lost or stolen. You have unlocked a new outfit, which we will equip because we don't need that other one anymore. My lady, there are letters for you. Another letter from Brioni. Why does she keep writing me? We're never even friends. She says she's bored and lonely, and she's looking forward to seeing me at Gwinnell's birthday party. Oh yes, Gwinnell's birthday party. We know what's going to happen, so we're going to have to send our regrets. I better stay here. I've not trained for this. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting worried now. This is already week 28, and I've yet to work on the history at all. Anyway, let's equip that outfit. Catsuit, which... What is it? I remember Jordan saw this and he said I cannot take her seriously. Anyway, we want to work on foreign intelligence utmost. So, let's see. Foreign intelligence. Since their recent revolution, the Tombolans have twice begun gathering troops on the Novan border, but both times their camps were struck by fierce storms and earthquakes, and they decided to give up on the idea. Pirates are once again operating out of Orcus, although they are currently sticking to the northern seas and no threat to Nova. However, if they turn to slave raids, the Borellians may be quite vulnerable. Agents who have visited Borealis report that all known Lumen shamans seem to have no magical powers at all and perform their ritual displays with show and trickery. Rumor has it that the mother and older sister of the last Duchess of Alaf was assassinated 20 years ago by agents from Sedna, which is why she, as sole remaining heir, was married off so young. Sigh. All of my friends are at Gwinnell's party and I don't get to go. We succeed in court manners. Excellent. I sent her a note with my regrets and a gift and she accepted, so at least she's not upset. We can get together sometime after my coronation when things are less hectic. Okay, at this point, I'm just trying to recall what's good for history. Is it depressed? Is that what? I don't know. Let's try working on the depressed and see what happens. Okay, so we should, yeah, we can finish off the foreign intelligence this turn. There's no point in working on history now because it's a -2, and as a -2, that would mean that no benefit at all will come through working on our history. Nothing will happen. We'll get 0 each turn. So that is a problem. So I guess I'll actually maximize elegance while I'm at it. Elegance and foreign intelligence. There we go. You practice standing in attractive positions in full costume and maintaining those poses for long periods of time. You have nothing more to learn about elegance. Rumor has it that the Prince of Terax was humiliated by the public dissolution of his betrothal to an heiress after she declared him a coward. Now, this is the important bit here. The Queen of Sanjia is wedded to a non-noble, a court musician whom she initially took as a consort, barring any offspring from inheriting the throne. She has since passed new laws to give not only their children but also the man himself an equal claim to the throne. That's important. The Duchess of Lila has sent you a gift. What's this? It's a cushion, finely embroidered with the design of a running horse. It's well done and clearly required hours and hours of needlework, but it's also fairly useless. That's nice, I guess. And we are going to keep it. Find a chair or sofa to sit on. Okay. So we really need to become more cheerful. And more yielding. I'm not sure if there's any way to become more yielding and cheerful at the same time. Okay, let me just flick through this. Yielding and cheerful. Yielding and cheerful. Oh! Perfect. There we go. We are now lonely, which actually does allow us to do the history. Now, that foreign intelligence was what I was kind of aiming for, so I'm not entirely sure how important the world history is now, but I'll just work on it because I had this vague recollection that it's important. I'm just checking, yep, with that costume it's up to 100. So let's work on history now. Just actually, let me just flick through one more time, just check that everything's... yeah, that should be fine. Okay, let's work on foreign affairs. And while we're at that, may as well work. No, yeah, foreign affairs and world history. You study the relationship of Nova and its nearest neighbours. The borders have been mostly peaceful in recent years, except for the problems with Ixion to the south. However, trouble may be brewing in Piraeus as well. You look at a globe of the world, reading names of places so distant you can't remember ever hearing about them, and other areas left blank because no explorer venturing there has ever returned. The Duchess of Mead is here to see you, my lady. Hello, Elodie. I'm sorry to trouble you, but have you seen Brioni? No, not since I left school. She shakes her head. She's gone missing. She's not at school where she should be. I know she was unhappy, but I never expected... actually, have we come across this one? We might not actually have come across this woman. Next time she comes up, I'll bring up the question mark. She wrote me a letter saying that she was bored looking for an adventure, but that's all I know. Oh dear. Let me see. Mother Aris, Duchess of Lila. Father Nalan, Duke of Mead, deceased. Brother Kevan, Earl of Io, the guy who's causing us great pain in that other one. Husband Ignatius, Duke Consort of Mead. Sister Charmian, Duchess Consort of Kaigal. Daughter Brioni, which is the one. Lady Mead, age 16, and son Noel, age 8, and she's 36. Her elder half-brother Hyacinth was Duke of Mead before her, but Hyacinth died without heirs. Before his death, Hyacinth was scandalously involved with Paulus, the old Duke of Ursul, Ignatius's father. Involved? I wonder if that means... Okay, I'm kind of have an idea what that might mean, but I'm not entirely sure. I hope she hasn't done anything too foolish. My poor little lamb, I have to go look for her. Okay, so let's try to become cheerful. So now we're cheerful, which does not benefit us at all, really. Okay, so let's just continue on with the world and history and the foreign history. 4 years ago, the Duchess of Hellas tried to foment an that's way too late at this point. You read about the western continent Geovair, where a civilization flourished so long ago that the ancestral Novans were still living in caves. No one knows what became of them. The population vanished without a trace, leaving only their enormous stone buildings. As you were walking through the great hall, a freak gust of wind suddenly blows out all the candles in the room. How strange. There must be an open window somewhere. All of these divinations are actually quite important, and they give you options leading up to what one would kind of call the end game. But I'm kind of going down a different path, so I'm not going to go for that. Yeah, let's try becoming afraid, and just see what that does, if that'll benefit us at all. So let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm fairly sure we have everything we need for the end. So just to be sure, I'm going to keep working on the world history and the foreign affairs. Tambula, to the north, underwent a peasant revolution shortly after you were born. The nobles either fled or were killed, and the new rulers have so far refused to establish official diplomatic ties with Nova. While they're not friendly, neither are they enemies, at least not yet. In the distant past, the Yeveni tribes to the east rode grapes with spines and tentacles on their heads instead of horses. The bones of these creatures are sometimes found in Lila and Mida, and their tusks are valuable to crafters. I believe this is the, what do they call that creature? That creature that was hunting that we got depressed over. Things have been so unsettled lately. Everyone's on edge. We need something cheerful. We could hold a tournament. What a good idea. Knights, jousting, musicians, all sorts of competitions. Everyone loves the contest. Nobody offers prizes to the winners. Employment. The winners will have the option of taking up royal appointments. It's a recruitment drive. Very well. I will draft the announcements. You leave him to his work. As you move through the hall, your eyes fall upon a vase of flowers. Pretty, but apparently not getting enough water. The leaves on one blossom have shriveled. We fail our divination, and oddly enough, we fail our decoration. Very strange. Oh! Hang on 1 sec. Hey! Duality-kun! Sorry, I just got informed there that you're here. Yeah. I'll just read out your comments now. Better late than never, I suppose I've joined. Am I right in thinking that when you play this game, you have to focus on one block at a time? Physical, intellectual, etc.? Well, what I would argue more is social, military. It's hard to describe. Social, yeah, it kind of all blends together so that it becomes very beneficial just to focus on that spot. Elsewise, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely, okay, like if you became a lumen, you would need a lot of athletics and military skills. So social really is one block, as you put it, but I don't think the others are more. Yay, you remember, yeah, about creating the brother, and bam, there's your brother. Involved with doesn't leave much. Yes, I can imagine. Anyway, I can't believe I failed decoration. My decoration's enormous. Anyway, you can clean up the stairs to your room where a maid is waiting for you. My lady, a gift has arrived from Kygel. Hopefully we won't eat these chocolates. I think, or court manners was one. No, my lady, a merchant house, I believe. It was sent with a shipment down the Cavallo River. You tear open the brightly coloured paper to find... Oh, actually, speaking of which, Duality-kun, I'll just inform you very quickly. This is kind of an alternate Let's Play because Jordan is unable to participate this week, so that's why I'm kind of playing it by myself, and I started over again, etc., etc. So that's why, just in case. I've mentioned it before, but, Anyway, you tear open the brightly coloured paper to find chocolates! There is a little card with the box with our compliments, the House of Crayolat. Court manners. That's oddly high-handed for some tiny trade I've never heard of. Yeah, so we'll save it for later. I don't feel like candy right now. Maybe later. So, yeah, let's become more afraid. Okay. Yeah, let's focus on Novan history this time. I'm gonna set up another save because it's been a long time since I played this, so I'm not entirely sure if I'm going about this right. So I want a good bit of space in case I need to go back. You read about the history of a domain. Hundreds of years ago, Nova was the center of a great empire, spanning the length of the western coast as well as a few island territories. Over time, your influence has waned. Nova's history involves an endless slew of names and dates. Even as small as it's become, there are 10 dukedoms, no 11 now, plus the royal line. You hope no one expects you to memorize every lineage. And we unlock a new outfit, which we probably won't equip because I think the foreign intelligence is more important. Anyway, let's see. This is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned out to compete against each other. The people will be pleased if you participate in their games. However, it would expose you to danger. And I believe... Actually, music could work. Mr. Music, you take your place in line for the bardic contest. We succeed in an instrument. When your turn comes, you take your seat at a beautiful wooden harp and let the notes fall like rain. Your voice weaves a spell of love and loss over the crowd. After such a performance, the judges cannot help but name you the champion. All the winners are announced and displayed to great cheers. As near queen, you place flower garlands around your necks. Oh, come on! What is it this time, Kevon? My family's blood is on your hands? What's he talking about? He cast a metal glove. I challenge you, a life for life. And do? Refuse. I'm not giving you a fight just because you want me to. Unfortunately, it seems to charge you anyway to... Oh, come on! Elodie, really? I mean, I know what happened, Elodie. I'm not going to spoil what happened, but, Okay. What can I do with this guy? Actually, I'm sorry. I just need to go through this again, just because I want to see. Oh wait. I remember how to skip this. I'm fairly good with the people, so I'm gonna actually not participate. And if I don't participate, yeah, this happens. One of the stewards, so basically, I'm not sure why. If you don't participate, Kevin will not show up. Now, it's not good to not participate, as you can imagine, but you know, it's a way to skip it. We might have to do the other one, but considering how, you know, treacherous we are now, like from everyone, like the people and the nobles and the other Let's Play, I don't know about skipping it, but it is when we can. One of the stewards apparently had an incredibly sweet tooth and dared to steal a piece of your recently received chocolates. He had a sweet tooth. The chocolates were poisoned. When he asked questions, it turns out that the merchant house which supposedly sent you this present never existed. Someone's tried to kill you, but you don't know who. We're more afraid, which is kind of what I was aiming for. Let's just go with that. And we are now afraid, which benefits our agility and faith. I don't know what to do. I think I'll just work on reflexes and flexibility just in case. At the point, it's kind of late to be doing anything with them, but you never know. Your teacher walks around you, prodding a finger at you slowly in order to train you in blocking those touches without triggering fear or faster breathing. Learn to relax and evaluate the tension in your body, then to practice the different types of motion available to each of your joints, twisting, shifting, and rotating. My lady, okay. Okay, so for any of you who have watched the other Let's Plays, this might be considered a spoiler, but that's fine. This is leading up to the single toughest aspect of this game. This is basically the end game boss that's coming up. My lady, your father wishes to speak with you. He says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted on approach from Sanjia, not trade ships. This is a war fleet. What? Within a week they will be in Novan waters. Within 2 they could reach the capital. Then we'll fight to defend ourselves. We can try to use the charity funds to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult at short notice. This isn't going to make much of a difference. I don't know if we should bother recruiting the soldiers, but it might look bad not to recruit soldiers. So, yes, we'll do that. You need to drop a naval strike for ships to carry out. You could choose to act as admiral and lead the fleet in person, but the interview would be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I would strongly advise against it. I will stay in the capital. There's too much to do here. I can't go to sea. Do your best and Nova will survive. Okay. So we're leading up to... Oh, actually, that was the wrong... Okay. We're leading up to the toughest part now. So, let's work on foreign affairs and world history. Southeast lies the domain of Calais, with which we have enjoyed fairly cordial relations. Sedna, their chief province, borders the Novan Duchy of Alaith, and nobles from the 2 provinces have been known to intermarry. The Duchy of Leila were not part of the pre-imperial Nova domain, but the western range of the Yevi nomads. A faction of Yeveni who wished to settle offered their allegiance willing to a Novan queen, and their chief was named a duke. You read about the northern continent Borealis, where the first lumens in history were recorded and how the discovery of magic shaped their development. You read about the 100-Year War, which left much of Borealis uninhabitable and created a power vacuum, which would eventually be filled by the growing power of Nova. So this is the fleet battle, and as you can imagine, it does not go well. Danger on the high seas. Ships close in on each other, angling into range. The Sanjians have half again as many troops as you do. It doesn't look promising. The eventual outcome is not in our favor. The Novan ships are sunk or scattered as the Sanjian forces press towards landfall. Many good soldiers were lost today, and Nova's troubles have not ended. Since you failed to repel the invasion, the Sanjian fleet will soon land, and their troops will begin to progress towards your capital city. The remaining soldiers will hold them off as long as possible, of course, but the main strength of your military has been exhausted. Nova's future looks bleak. Okay, so it's the next week now where we come across the single toughest week of this entire game. So let's just stay afraid for a moment. And lonely. And we'll work on our foreign affairs and world. There's practically nothing we can do if, you know, if this week, if something goes wrong, but I'm just going to set up a save anyway. Alternate 6. So, foreign affairs, world history. Because the Lilians are descended from Yeveni castouts who were officially shunned, the Yevi nomads do not acknowledge that Lilia even exists. They treat their western border as an invisible wall, and Novan emissaries as travelers from an impossibly distant land. Over the mountains to the northeast lie the deserts of the Piraeus tribes, who are traditionally hostile to Nova, but too lacking in resources to mount a credible threat. Small groups of Pyrean raiders are sometimes found in Kaigal and Sudbury. Borealis now is mostly made up of tiny domains containing no more than a few village-like settlements each, officially ruled over by shamanic lumens. They have few resources and live primarily from the sea. You read a brief history of the rise and fall of the Novan Empire. There was a time when it seemed that Nova would grow to cover the entire world, but all came apart. This is the toughest week, I'm fairly sure. The invasion of Nova is proceeding, your coastline is under Sanjian control, soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields and frightening citizens. A diplomatic delegate... Okay, yeah, this is definitely a week. This diplomatic delegation is so tough. Has requested access to the castle to discuss terms most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem that you have no choice. You prepare yourself as best as you can to meet with the representatives from Sanjia. You expected diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect a handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you, a man announced by your servants as Togami, King of Sanjia. For an intelligence success, that's what we needed. King consort he should be, if even that much. He's a common musician who married his way onto the throne. Now, we failed our sense magic because we're not lumens. This guy, Togami, I hate him so much because of his difficulty. As far as I can tell, this is the only guy in the whole game whose age is unknown. He comes across from land across the ocean. You know nothing about his family, except we know that he was a musician and that he is not of nobility. He is actually a commoner who married into the royal family. You learn to slap the false sympathy off his oily face, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the powers of a lumen. I propose a formal duel. My power is against yours. The winner takes control of Nova. The loser dies. But I'm not a lumen. Saving it for the coronation, were you? Such a pity that you'll be unprepared. Well then, go and find your crystal. Becoming a lumen is a very simple matter. Then we can have our duel. What's the point? You know I can't win. Why don't you just kill me now? Because that's not the game. You want to fight you want to save your people, don't you? I want to fight a lumen. If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? That doesn't benefit us personally, because the whole point of the game is to get her coronated. So fine, Nova isn't actually taken over by this guy, but we still die, even if we lose this duel. I swear it by the gods, Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I don't like this, but what choice do I have? He was a musician once, before he married his way into power. Can I use that? So we have to sing to him now. Wait, we're civilized people here, and if I might die, I need to compose myself first. You have only one chance for this, one hope to touch the heart of the man beneath the monster. You know so little about him, but he is a father who was once a musician. Music may reach him where nothing else can, and so you begin your favorite song. You're afraid he will be impatient and order you to stop, but it seems that at least for a moment he is listening. Pretty. What is it? Something my mother used to sing to me. She was the queen. She was always so busy, but she loved me. When she had time to be with me, to hold me, to play and sing, I miss those moments. Are you crying? How pathetic. Public speaking success. Don't you sing to your children? That is no business of yours. Isn't it? If we fight, if I defeat you somehow, then your children will miss those songs. Well then, perhaps you had better lose. And what happens then? What? When you've killed me and taken my crystal, what do you do then? You came from nothing and made yourself a king, but that wasn't enough for you. So you pushed the boundaries, you conquered territory, you came after Nova. After me, Do you go home to your children, or do you go after another crystal, another domain? Be quiet, you know nothing of the world. You have the world, but if you're not happy, what's the point? From the shocked murmurs on the part of the Sanjian delegation, you can guess that no one has dared talk to the king like this in a long, long time. You hold your ground, meeting his eyes with your own, willing him to listen to you. We succeed in our presence. It doesn't have to be like this. You and I, we could be friends. We could learn from each other. We could be part of something greater than ourselves, a new peace. And you can sing to your children. I have not sung in a very long time. I'll teach you my songs. You hold out your hands to him, open and empty. We can do this, together. For a long moment he stands frozen. Then at last he sighs and places his hands in yours. And just like that, the war's over. We got through that! I'm so happy about that. You can't believe this guy kills me so many times. It's insane. I know I made it look easy there, but he is the single toughest component of this game. Now, because of how much I remember him, I don't actually remember that much after this, so let's just keep getting depressed, I'm afraid. I don't believe we need anything else, but let's just build up the history. We'll get interesting facts anyway. The domain of Tarax, far to the south, was warred with Ixion on and off for centuries, even when both were part of the Novan Empire. Your grandmother assisted the Ixionites in putting down the last disagreement 32 years ago. The island domain of Malini was once a small outpost of the Novan Empire, but was simply forgotten about in the chaos 600 years ago. They were so pleased to have gained their independence without violence that they have remained a strong trade partner to this day. The Novan Empire once had outposts on the western continent, but was driven out 600 years ago. The most important domain in that area today is Sanjia. And until 200 years ago, Sanjia was not a true domain, but a confederation of trading city-states, each largely independent except for the limited rule of an elected council. An internal dispute led to the eventual victorious general declaring himself king, which actually sounds very much like Germany. If you've ever actually studied the history of Germany, it's actually kind of similar-ish to that. The Sanjians have retreated their own territory, and the mood throughout Nova is one of cautious optimism. It is not so easy to replace the lives lost and the damage already done, but it is still a relief to believe that it's all over and nothing worse is coming. Small celebrations are being planned in many towns and villages. Your popularity is rising. It would seem that everyone loves you. So let's do this again. And we'll finish off the foreign affairs and the world history. You learn that in the decline of the Novan Empire, slave raiders from Orcus terrorized the western coastline until your paternal great-grandfather, then Duke of Calaris, led a fleet to their capital and came back with most of their treasury. You have nothing more to learn about foreign affairs. In recent years, the Queen of Sanjia has pursued an expansionist policy. Well, thank you for telling us about that now, after they've just declared war on us, and I've had to bring them into peace. Conquering several smaller domains nearby and bring them under her control. You have nothing more to learn about world history. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people. When a new monarch is crowned, it is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of any such feast depends on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. An extravagant feast. Roasted meats, cakes, chocolates, wine, enough for everyone, and I can give out commemorative cups and coins. Okay. And I guess we'll finish off, I think, with Novan history. No individual may hold more than one dukedom, but nobles seek noble spouses, so titles often come together before being parceled out to heirs. Your father is Duke of Calaris, and his brother is Duke of Mazomba. Bryn, Duchess of Hellas, is the sister of Banian, Duke of Marie, and so on. Aris, Duchess of Lila, is the mother of the Duchess of Mead, the mother-in-law of the Duke of Kagal, and the stepmother of the future Duke of Elath. People sometimes call her Nova's Eastern Queen, which would have been useful to know earlier. The Duchy of Sudbury is currently held in regency by Countess Like of Dis for her daughter Gwenal, who is your age. She inherited the duchy last year upon the death of her father. The last two rulers before your mother, Queen Fidelia, were your grandmother, Queen Ladesh, and her father, King Fulbert. After about 60 years ago, the Duchess of Merva died with no close heirs, and King Fulbert claimed the lands for the keeping of the crown. After your mother took the throne, she recreated the duchy and made her brother, your uncle, its duke. So before that, I'm going to check the comments. Yes, I hate Togami. Did you pick that up? Anyway, okay. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favorite colors and flowers and so on. We succeed in our decoration. You're happy to collaborate with the designers to ensure you are shown off to the best possible effect. You're still so young after all. Good design will help a lot in making you look like a queen. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. It can't take place until you're of age, of course, and considering all the preparations and the need to recover from the coronation, not for much longer than that. Still, it doesn't stop people from buzzing around full of ideas and suggestions. Okay, I thought that was the last week for some reason, but okay, this must be the last week now. Yeah, let's just finish off the... I don't really care. I think this will finish it all off in one go. Yeah. So the next one's a waste, but that's fine. About 200 years ago, a great black cloud formed over Nova, bringing cloud and sickness. The sun could not shine, and the air was gritty and foul-smelling. Many people died, including the Queen at the time and most of the high nobility, before the cloud finally dissipated. Until about 600 years ago, the capital of Nova was on the shores of Cathay Lake in southern Calaris. After that became uninhabitable, a new capital was built here on Lampsey Island. It was the chaos of that period which triggered the eventual collapse of the empire. The most famous ruler of ancient Nova was King Latimer. According to the history texts, he began the policy of gathering light, which led to the predominance of the empire. Unfortunately, the texts don't explain what exactly that policy was. There's a reference, but that volume is missing. How inconvenient, of course. Anyway. And yeah, okay, so that's a waste actually. But that's fine. There's nothing else we can really do. At this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you teas and cakes while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls or the like. Someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later, they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You're 15 years old, a legal adult. Well, a legal adult in these days, keep that in mind. You've worked hard, you've worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you, to all of Nova. And then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen, who's sworn you her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen! Long live the Queen! Thank you. I will. Now, this I really want to point out. I actually really like this. Once you've completed the game, based on decisions you make in the game, they actually give you epilogues. Kind of, you know, what happens afterwards. So, let's read this out. After the coronation in a private ceremony with the High Priestess, Elodie was officially offered her mother's lumen crystal. That light and power would become a part of her, a tradition that had been passed down for hundreds of years. Once his daughter was secure on her throne, Jocelyn returned to his birthplace to focus on his duties as Duke of Calaris. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mazomba. The subject of magic and lumens remained a slightly uncomfortable one for the citizens of Nova, perfectly fine for the Queen, who had inherited it by divine right, but not something that other people should be aspiring towards. Look at all the terrible things that have happened when that power fell into the wrong hands. As an openly acknowledged lumen, Juliana, Duchess of Ursul, was met with public suspicion wherever she journeyed outside of her duchy. At times, that suspicion was accompanied with thrown vegetables. It did not matter that Elodie supported her fully as a member of the noble court. That only led to the commoners to whisper that Juliana was a bad influence on their queen. Juliana's perpetually unmarried state was even more worrying to those with wagging tongues. What if that influence rubbed off on the queen and left Nova with no heir? I'm sure you guys know from the previous Let's Play what Juliana's interested in. Anyway. What? Wait, what happened just there? We just seem to go back. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I've never seen that happen. Okay. After the halt of the Sanjian invasion, relations across the Western Sea remained calm and trade flourished. Sanjia's expansionist phase seemed to have come to a halt. Sometime later, a special trade ship from Sanjia arrived with a tribute for Queen Elodie. There was a beautiful harpsichord inlaid with ivory and pearl and golden roses, as well as 2 paintings clearly made by children depicting a pink-haired angel. I'm assuming that's the one right there, which actually looks quite cute. I actually like the drawing of the angel. So, you know, I'm guessing those children were probably Yaman's children, in Togami, that we spoke of so much. Anyway. Years later, when both were adult, Elodie, Queen of Nova, and Adair, Duke of Elath, were married. An entire week of public celebrations was set aside for the wedding, and both bride and groom paraded through the capital on fine white horses from the east. The relationship often seemed to be more one of friends and companions than passionate lovers, but they brought stability to Nova. Elodie's studies of history were... Oh yes, because... Okay, this is going to take a little while now, because when you master an entire section, like, for example, history... it's going to, you know, give epilogues based on that. Elodie's studies of history revealed previously glossed over facts from Nova's past, such as why the Novan Empire only blossomed after the fall of Borealis. The old Lumen warlords were forced to flee to more fertile ground after their constant squabbling damaged their homeland beyond repair. That also explained why from the beginning magic in Nova was viewed with caution, but as memory faded, caution did as well, leading to a cycle of magical destruction that waxed and waned over the centuries. Elodie vowed to improve the state of Nova in education so that important lessons would not be so easily forgotten. Oh, is that just the one? Oh, okay. Anyway, and thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. And there's the credits. Beautiful, isn't it? It's actually a really small, you know, cast, not cast, what I'm saying, development team. I mean, look at all that. Very few people. If you want to see what that show log is, I won't do that now, but I'll just explain what it does. It's actually kind of it's like a HTML file, and it actually shows, you know, like what you did throughout all the weeks and all that. It's kind of like almost a writing of what you did. So that's what that is. So that's done. And there you have it. I completed Long Live the Queen. It's only an hour and a half, but considering I completed this once, I'm not going to, you know, play it anymore. So I'm going to call it a that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I was very pleased to see the interaction in the comments, and from Duality Kun in particular and Arctic Banana as well. Both were great fun. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. I managed to get her to be coronated gloriously. Using a strategy that I actually used in the past. And I just thought this would be a good way to actually play. And we'll continue our normal Let's Play hopefully next week with Jordan. Jordan was unable to attend this week, which is why you know, he's not here, and that's why I ended up doing this. So hopefully he'll be able to attend next week, and we'll continue on then. But until then, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and you know, in order to see that Let's Play next week, and subscribe to my main channel if you haven't yet done so. I would very much appreciate that. Check out everything that I've done. Comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.